Hey, it's me Hrishikesh, Kannan, popularly known as Hrishikesh. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon now to get the latest videos and get taken into a world of entertainment, culture, sport, business and current affairs.
Well, I just came back 2 days back from London, and actually I was there in May also for a charity event, and this time was more a family holiday. But this time was something very special. On the third day, I got to meet Sachin Tendulkar, and I was like beaming. I met him, I spoke to him for a long time. I had a drink with him. So for me, this trip was like wunderbar.
Well, this series gave me company during the hard days of the pandemic, and it's back. It's bigger, brighter, better. These are the usual suspects. They were there in season 1. Harleen, of course, is the new entry. Mr. Kapoor, Indraneil, Shweta, lovely to see you. And how's everything? All good? Yeah?
All great, all great.
Right.
Mr. Kapoor, I know a media lawyer who will be far cheaper than any media lawyer that you know. I can send her to you to copyright the game word. Because you're making it your own.
I'm playing a lot of games. Yeah.
But it's pure coincidence, isn't it? I mean,
Pure coincidence,
beautiful
yeah.
coincidence.
In fact, I started with Gone Game, and in fact, then I did Fame Game. Actually, Fame Game's title was going to be Actress first, and maybe they had some issue with the title and everything. They didn't get it.
It was Finding Anamika.
Yeah, Finding Anamika. That was just they had kept a temporary title, yeah, working title. And then they came with the Fame Game. So I said, यार कुछ game के साथ मेरा है, and I've been fortunate enough. Gone Game was also a success. Fame Game is also a success. और अब season 2 आ रहा है, तो ये भी fingers crossed. And it's looking good. So I'll be confident enough I say that this will also do.
Lovely. Shweta, to me, the relationship between the siblings, which is the Gujral brother and sister, is very, very interesting. We all know that in every family, there is always one Lala, and the other person always gets a little ignored. And some of us grow up with that. And it's very obvious that that has been very well written and established in this. I don't know if you're an only child, whether you have siblings, but that must have been very interesting for you, the interplay between the brother and the sister.
No. So I have an elder sister who is 5 years older. So it was very different. And to explore this relationship, because what you just said, that happens, and it happens a lot, especially when there is a brother and sister. I've heard of these stories कि जब रोटी होती है तो वो रोटी भाई को मिलेगी and जो बच जाता है वो बहन को मिलेगा. So not that situation, but the emotion is the same. Where whatever it is, the brother gets more, especially if he's older or younger as well. Or we know so many people who there are daughters and multiple and many daughters till that one brother comes. So I spoke to a lot of people who come from that kind of background or family and wanted to channelize that, because that is something that I haven't grown up in a situation or a family like that. So it was very important for me to understand, and as actors, it's extremely, it's a responsibility as well. Because when you're showing emotions or journeys of those characters, it needs to be justified. And because I was never made to feel any lesser because of my gender, because of my height, or because of what I wanted to do. But here, as Amara Gujral, she just wants to prove herself. She just wants to get that validation from especially her dad. And it's not like he doesn't love her or the mother doesn't love. There is enough of love, money, respect, everything. But still she feels it's not enough. Because when it comes to comparing it with the brother, she always gets the lesser bit. And that's why throughout the season 1 and season 2, it is definitely for the love of the brother as well. But the root cause is that validation from the father.
What about Sanjay Kapoor in real life? When the boy and the girl, your son and daughter, would have a fight, would you kick the boy's butt and say, this is my dear daughter? You look like the kind of guy who will be here.
You know what? No. Obviously, they always say father and daughter's relation. But because there's a definite age difference of about 5 to 6 years, maybe if they were the same age, it would have happened. So when Shania was young, he was a kid, and now that He is 16, 17, he is now. Shania, with him it is about studies, with Shania is about work and professional. So it's totally different. So fortunately,
You didn't have to go through that.
I didn't have to go through that, and hopefully I have not given more importance to them. Jahan definitely has got a little more scolding than me, because maybe Shania was a little more. Shania's thing is she's more focused. Girls are definitely more focused.
Of course they are.
When they take up something, that's the quality of Shania. When she takes up something, whether she was in school, whether she was doing running, basketball, or today when she's joining films, girls are definitely more focused. They also mature faster. Like Jahan is 17, and when Shania was 17, I can see the difference. He is 17, who's a boy, who's growing up and everything, but Shania was like a
lady.
already like
lady,
like a woman, much more matured. But fortunately, neither Mai or me have given preferential treatment to any
That's
of them.
beautiful.
For
Beautiful.
both of us, they are kids. They make mistakes. We correct them, and that's it. And give them the same love.
Can I just add something?
Yeah, of
that
course.
I can vouch for it that I've not got the chance to meet Mahi yet. But with him, the thing is that I'm sure he's a great dad, because on screen, to sabko pata hai, but off screen, even today, tomorrow, a few years from now, if I have any question, I will call him up and ask him, because that's the quality about working with senior actors who are not insecure. I can ask him anything and he will help me out. It actually felt like there was a beautiful scene that you will see in season 2, where I just hug him and I didn't have to act. I just had tears in my eyes, because you just feel the warmth, the love. And he's been a great mentor. And the way he guides you, the way, be it the mood on set, or be it how to treat a scene or take a scene forward. So it's been such an enriching experience, and now I feel ki season 1 mein wo nahi mila, because we were all shooting individually. But in season 2, I was fortunate enough, and we had such a blast, and it was not difficult because of the kind of man he is. And
Mr. Kapoor, this is your biggest payment. I just finished talking to Harleen and to Mathur, and they were saying the same thing about you. It's just you fill
They're very
people's lives with a lot of happiness, man.
Kind with the words. Definitely, I get a lot of love, and my personality is also such, is that I always make light of the situation. There will be times where we shot this in extreme conditions of COVID. We had the third wave, actually the January thing. We were shooting in a small room. Once even I lost my cool for one of the technicians. He was not wearing a mask or something. But we definitely tried to keep, when we are there, obviously there was so much of intensity in the show that when the camera was off, we needed to just let go, and I feel somebody who's, I would not say the most experienced or the elder, whatever it is, but somebody has to just ease out, So maybe I thought I took that thing, let me just make everybody comfortable, so that I feel the energy should be correct on a set. The energy is correct, everybody, there is not कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ और तू क्या कर रहा है. It is always कि हम क्या करें. So that thing comes across on screen, where we, and that's what, honestly, I have also learned. Like, we recently did Fame Game and you interviewed us. When I did Raja, where I was absolutely a raw newcomer, and I said it on your show also, I never felt new at that time, because I was never, whether it was Madhuri, whether it's Indu, Baba. So it is what people, that's the energy they give. And that's what I've learned when I started, and that's what I want to, though they are not new, they are like very, very experienced or something. But definitely I was the most experienced. So I said, let's be like a family and enjoy this show. Yeah. And
most
that's what we tried to do.
but the youngest.
Indraneil, I want to compliment you. In season 1, I thought the role of the doctor that you played was very, very well nuanced. Doctors were going through that. Thake, hare, 36 hours, 24 hours, non-stop working. And that fatigue showed on your face. And of course, you were part of the drama and things like that. I also saw your Doon Kand very recently, where you've done a great job. So many congratulations on that. He's a bit of a complicated character, because you can't really place whether he's on the right side or the wrong side.
But that's the beauty of the character, actually.
Yeah. So does that continue into or are there a lot of revelations? Does the complexity continue is my question to you.
So I feel for a thriller to work, the ambiguity for every character is essential. So it will continue in the second also. Like nothing will be, I mean, if you make things very clear, then the ambiguity is lost, then the thrill is lost. So I think Pratik Jindal still continues to be that, but it's a little clearer in the second season. Yeah, I mean, it will continue like that. Yeah.
I would like to say that I'm quite envious of the two of you and the entire cast, because through season 1 and I'm sure through a lot of season 2, you'll all have drinks in your hand. Yeah? I don't know whether it was actual drinks or not. But
His was.
there was a lot of drinks.
Maybe in season 1. No, actually,
single malt.
Actually, I come from that very old school, like that old school कि set पे drink नहीं पी सकते यार. So I come from that school.
After backup, you go and do what
Yeah,
you
वो
want.
pack-up के बाद we were most of the time shooting in a lot of hotels and everything, so we didn't have to really drive across to have a drink. But I come from that school के नहीं वो set पे it's like a mandir, I'll not have a drink or something. So even when I shot the season 1, which was at home and everything, there was the best of malts lying there, but I was probably, let me say it now, that it was basically green tea and water. Thank God, not happy. On set they always give you happy. You have a sip and like, क्या दिया है यार? बाबू green tea लेके आया.
Yeah, that's a good substitute. Instead of happy, people should
Green
bring that
tea.
as the template.
No, green tea is good because it's healthy also. You keep on drinking. Even if it's cold, it's good enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, green tea, have green tea.
And that's good. I mean, so much for woman power. Yeah. I mean, why should boys have all the fun? Why should the guys only have drinks on screen?
So we both are.
Mama Gujral does that a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly, and again, the father-daughter, and we all on screen and off screen, we really enjoy our single moms.
And I believe the CBI officer also offers you a single ball.
If
So
we could,
I like
we
this
would
show
be having
already.
it right
I like it a
now.
lot. No, guys, we're just joking.
While
It's not
watching
about
it, you should be
drinking.
having
जब स्क्रिप्ट करना चाहिए कि नहीं, और आपका जो कैरेक्टर है वो बार-बार ड्रिंक पीता है, करते हैं यार.
मतलब CBI वाले से भी करा लो. But yeah, it looked like a fun set. You guys are all positive, nice people. I mean, you lucked out on the cast. Indraneil, you seem to be the strong, silent type. Did you enjoy yourself? With this wonderful family.
See, the best part about Gone Game is that we finished the first season, it became a hit. I met a lot of people, we spoke about the show, we spoke about the actors, and then they would say that Shweta and Shriya and Sanjay, I had never met anyone. So that was a very strange thing about this show. Even the second, so I actually met Shweta during the second season's shoot. So this was a very important thing. But I would want to mention one thing which I've been trying to articulate for a very long time, not only in this interview, the interviews before. Everyone talks about Gone Game being a very successful show. And everyone talks about that it was shot, the actors shot it in their houses and all that. But I really don't think it worked because of that. I really think the show worked because the content was great and the performances were great. And when the show, people liked the show, and then it was an additional line. And you know what? These guys shot the show by themselves. Okay, so I don't think, because during the pandemic, during the lockdown, lots of people did small things which were self-shot. Not everything became a success. This became a success because the show as such was great. So second season, although we don't have that USP now anymore, that it is being self-shot and all, but I think we can fall back upon the content and the performances. So I think that has worked for Gone Game. And not really the self-shot thing.
That's a very valid point. Because it's not just about the self-shooting, it holds you, it grips you.
Right.
And there were moments when Shriya was alone in the house.
Yeah.
And I remember I was watching it alone and suddenly I went a little off track.
Continuing on his point, I remember when season 1, I met a lot of people who said that we thought we'll see it for 10-15 minutes. इन्होंने shoot कैसे किया है? Then it was the show, because you're not going to watch 4 episodes to ये कैसे shoot किया है. कि उन्होंने बोला 10 मिनट देखते हैं कि क्या है. But when they saw that 10 minutes, they got into the show. They, it's always anything you do. They were in another interview. They were asking her about her work and everything. How do you, the girl of Mirzapur? Then now how the audience accept. I said, when the audience is watching a show, if the show is good, you forget what you've done. Yeah?
True.
It's not that today they're watching me in Gone Game that they're thinking about that I have danced on Akhiyan Mila on all other songs यार. फिर तो कोई show या picture चले ही नहीं ऐसे तो यार. You know, finally the first 5 minutes when you watch it, there's an intrigue. अरे इसका मैंने देखा था बड़ा अच्छा लगा या इसका ये देखा था. Finally when you see a new show, this is a new character. When you're seeing Gone Game, you're watching Amara, you know, or you're watching Rajiv, or, you know, whoever being the character. You forget about what they've done before, and that's what, you know, acting is all about.
You know, Gone Game also really opened my eyes to what hackers are doing. It's unbelievable, and these are young kids who are sitting in their room. They're, you know, whiz kids, and they could be on either side of the law. They could be helping the cops, or they could be against it. And Amara's character, it's not a spoiler, takes the help of a hacker. And obviously, you know, that again develops in season 2, and it's quite scary because it's, you know, at one level it's voyeuristic, at another level, you know, people keep telling you OTP pin kisi ko mat bata, CVV mat bata, and things like that. So that aspect is not much discussed, but it's an important aspect of Gone Game. I'd like you to comment on that.
Because the important thing is, where do you draw the line? Because right now, all our phones or all our devices, they're listening to everything that we say or everything that we search. So we might think it's personal, but it's not. It's literally anybody can have access to, be it whoever, like you said, it could be on any site, but there is no privacy anymore. So we can imagine however we want it to be for our own convenience, but everything is out there. So, like the latest thing I'm going to do is there's a screen guard that now you can put on your phone, which ki at least सामने जो बाइक वाला है वो
नहीं, I've got it since 2-3 years. That's a privacy screen.
Exactly. So first I thought कि क्यों करना है, but I'm like अरे अब जितना भी जो भी बचा सकते हो, it's very important. But yeah, I think you have to be, all of us have to be very careful. But then how careful can you be, because it's literally out there and it's not in your hand.
We all have CCTV cameras in our buildings.
Yeah.
We all have it in our homes.
I
will say something which is eerie and scary. She's saying the phone can listen. On my phone, I was showing it to Anil day before we went to meet mom. So Anil, Boni and me were there at my mom's house, and I showed it to Boni earlier. My phone on its own. I have Anil's number as Anil, and the number is there Boni, because you got 2-3 phones. One is Boni Mo, MO, like mobile. And now it's changed to Boni Mo Chachu. Boni Chachu is changed. Anil, when the phone comes, I say, Anil, call me up.
On its own?
On its own, it comes as Anil Chachu, and I have not saved it as Anil Chachu.
Oh my god.
ये वो true caller type होता है ना, so it takes a login database. I don't know.
But Chachu कैसे आ रहा है? But like when it came the first time,
you know, people are talking about relationships in Gone Game and all this, that. This is what I was thinking about watching. I said, boss.
This is like,
and you will see that in season 2. This aspect that you're saying, we've explored that.
It's very scary. Yeah.
It's very scary. When it came like that, I showed it to him. I said, "Nee, tu kar phone." So he called up and he said, to shock Anil, you need to do something like that. Anil seen it all, so he doesn't get shocked.
How do you shock him?
Yeah, how do you shock him? By this. It's like, so there's, you know, even I know that you Google something, you search something, whether it's your, suddenly you've thought of, which hotel should I say? You're only getting ads of hotel. But this, your name has changed to Chachu.
That's scary. You know, Shriya is, I imagine, not a very important part of this particular series, but she was pretty much the fulcrum of series 1. And again, what a fine actor. I'd like you to comment on her, because she's really set the base for Gone Game 2 to go ahead, and I'm sure at least in the first few episodes she has a very major part to play in season 2.
Yes, of course she has. Even in second season, she is one of the pivotal characters.
Yeah, 100%. She's not.
We can't say much because it'll be spoilers.
Yeah. So Shriya, I mean, I think she's a brilliant actress. Fortunately, I have also got to work with her on a different show as well. So, I mean, why Shriya only? I'll talk about her also, right? Shweta and Shriya are, as you know, the faces of OTT today probably, because they are extremely powerful actors. And Shriya, I mean, when I did a couple of scenes with her, you have to be on your toes. Like even in her silence, she's so good. Like you feel like asking by yourself that I want to do another take because I can't match up with this person, right? So yeah, you know, once she opened, there was nothing. I knock the door, she opens the door, she looks at me, and I just tell her that Suhani, मुझे तुम्हारी मदद करने दो. Let me help you. That's it. And she's just looking at me. I say another take it. Although the line is mine, the dialogue is mine. What the hell? So yeah, there's so much depth.
Plus in this show, like there's always in shows, I always feel it's never the length of the role or
Yes.
length of the thing. Even when she's not there, her presence, the discussion is Suhani. So baby, visually she's not there. But when you're watching it, I'm sure back of your mind you will see her, because everything is, without giving spoilers, there's a lot, the whole conflict and everything is because of her. So she's got a very interesting and powerful role.
Also, the thing is, just to add to what both of them said, that we confuse the length of the role with the importance,
Yeah.
which I find very bizarre. And okay, I get it also that why people do that, but my job as an actor is to serve the script or the story.
Yeah, because his role, for example, might not have been lengthy, but it was
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That
Very intriguing.
doctor during COVID and what he
Absolutely.
brought out is just fantastic.
Yeah. Like for example, Rasika in Mirzapur season 1, or even she had 15 days of shoot as opposed to any of the other characters who had 30, 40. But I mean, can you think about Mirzapur without Beena Tripathi? So I think that also the audience is changing, everybody is changing their outlook for how they perceive important.
That is also up to in the recent years, the makers are also making characters like that, which, even if you are there for a couple of scenes, but they are so impactful, which unfortunately was not happening quite a few years back. But now it is like that.
Okay, last question. What's a recent trip that you went to a holiday and you really enjoyed yourself? Indraneil.
I just they have many more exciting stories to tell. I just went to Calcutta and shot for a film, Bengali film, or for a character that I have always wanted to play in my life. So I am happy about that. That is the exciting part.
And what was the coup de resistance in Calcutta?
Sorry?
What is the most important part of being in Calcutta?
The food.
Mache jhol.
The food. Sweets and mache jhol. Yeah.
Mr. Kapoor.
Well, I just came back 2 days back from London, and actually I was there in May also for a charity event, and then this time was more a family holiday. But this time was something very special. On the third day, I got to meet Sachin Tendulkar, and I was like beaming. I met him, I spoke to him for a long time. I had a drink with him. So for me, this trip was like wunderbar.
Shweta.
My bestie Malika Dua and I was supposed to be shooting for something which got postponed. So I picked up the phone ek raat ko and I asked Mals ki London chalna hai, and she said chal. And the whole point of the trip was that we wanted to be students because we wanted to see what is happening in the world, what are artists up to. So we have seen almost a musical every day. So from Hamilton to Wicked to Kill a Mockingbird, which is adapted on first stage by Aaron Sorkin, to
Phantom of the Opera?
Phantom of the Opera, Harry Potter, The Cursed Child. We've seen it all, and that's why now
Besides
I am
me,
back.
she saw everything,
So
because
hungry.
we were going to meet in London, but thing got delayed by 2-3 days. So we literally on my first, like when I went in May, we crossed each other. When we messaged each other, I said, "मैं तो वापस आ गया."
So that was great.
Lovely. Gone Game Season 2. It streams on Voot Select, 7th of July. Please give it a lot of love. It stars Sanjay, Shweta, Indraneil and a wonderful cast. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.